She thought choosing between two hearts would be her hardest decision, until something far darker forced her hand. But what happens when the past refuses to stay buried, and vengeance demands blood for blood? Comment where in the world you're watching from, then let's witness how love becomes war. Rain hammers the streets of Seattle, pouring in sheets that blur neon signs and streetlights into smears of color. Night has fallen completely, clouds blocking any moonlight. The city feels empty despite the crowds that passed through hours earlier. Water pools on sidewalks, rushing into storm drains with a constant gurgle. A young man walks alone down an alley between buildings, hood pulled up against the downpour. His name is Riley, early 20s, thin jacket soaked through. He checks his phone, the screen's glow illuminating his face briefly. The alley is narrow, trash bins lining one wall, fire escapes zigzagging up the brick above. Footsteps echo behind him. Riley glances back but sees nothing through the rain. He walks faster, breath fogging. The footsteps match his pace, getting closer. Riley breaks into a run, sneakers splashing through puddles. He rounds a corner, pressing against the wall, heart pounding. Silence. Just rain. Riley exhales shakily, starting to move again. A figure drops from above, landing directly in front of him with impossible grace. Riley stumbles backward, eyes wide. The figure steps forward into the thin light from a nearby window. Victoria stands before him, red hair plastered to her skull by rain, pale skin luminous. Her eyes are crimson, bright and predatory. She smiles, revealing perfect teeth. "Hello, Riley." Her voice is soft, almost gentle. Riley tries to run. Victoria moves faster, grabbing his arm, pulling him close. "Shh, this won't hurt long." She leans in, and Riley's scream cuts through the rain before dying abruptly. Morning breaks over Forks, Washington. Sunlight struggles through perpetual clouds, casting everything in muted gray. The forest surrounding the small town drips with moisture, every branch and leaf heavy with last night's rain. Birds call to each other, hidden in the dense canopy. Bella Swan sits in her old red truck in the high school parking lot, engine idling. She stares at the dashboard, lost in thought. Her dark hair falls loose around her shoulders, face contemplative. The passenger door opens and Edward Cullen slides in, moving with fluid grace. His bronze hair is slightly disheveled, golden eyes warm as they find hers. "You're thinking too loud," Edward says, a hint of smile on his perfect features. Bella turns to him. "Just thinking about graduation, college applications. What comes after?" Edward reaches for her hand, his skin cool and smooth. "Whatever comes after, we face it together." Bella nods but uncertainty lingers in her expression. They exit the truck, Edward carrying Bella's backpack despite her protests. Students mill around the parking lot, conversations buzzing. Jessica and Angela wave from near the entrance. Mike Newton watches Bella and Edward with barely concealed jealousy, turning away when Edward glances in his direction. Inside, hallways bustle with typical morning chaos. Lockers slam, teachers herd stragglers toward classrooms. Edward walks Bella to her first period, fingers intertwined with hers. Other students part around them instinctively, giving the couple space. The Cullen family has become slightly more accepted over time, though whispers still follow them. At the Cullen house, a sprawling modern structure of glass and white stone deep in the forest, Alice Cullen suddenly goes rigid in the living room. Her small frame freezes mid-step, eyes unfocused, seeing something no one else can. Jasper is beside her instantly, hand on her shoulder. "Alice, what do you see?" Alice blinks, vision clearing, face troubled. "Someone's coming. Someone's creating an army." Her voice is tight with worry. The rest of the family converges immediately. Carlisle, Esme, Emmett, and Rosalie gather around, expressions serious. Carlisle speaks carefully. "An army of what?" Alice meets his gaze. "Newborns, dozens of them, coming to Forks." Edward appears in the doorway, having heard everything at supernatural speed. His face hardens. "Victoria." The name drops like a stone. Everyone understands immediately. Victoria, maid of James whom they killed to save Bella months ago, seeking revenge. Edward's hands clench into fists. She's creating newborn vampires to kill Bella. The family erupts into discussion, voices overlapping. Newborns are incredibly dangerous. Newly turned vampires with no control, driven purely by bloodlust, possessing strength that even experienced vampires struggle against. An army of them would be devastating. Carlisle raises his hand, calling for calm. "We need to prepare, and we need to tell Bella." At school, Bella sits in English class, barely listening to the teacher discuss Wuthering Heights. Her phone vibrates silently. A text from Alice. "Need to talk. Important. After school." Bella's stomach tightens with familiar dread. Nothing good ever comes from "we need to talk." The final bell rings. Bella finds Edward waiting at her locker, face carefully neutral but tension evident in his posture. Alice had a vision. We need to go to my house. Bella's heart sinks. How bad? Edward's jaw tightens. Bad enough. The drive to the Cullen house passes in tense silence. Edward grips the steering wheel too hard, knuckles white. Bella watches the forest blur past, trying to prepare herself for whatever news awaits. The house appears through the trees, beautiful and somehow forbidding today. Inside, the entire family waits. Bella sits on the white leather couch, Edward beside her, hand clasping hers protectively. Carlyle explains carefully, voice calm but serious. Victoria is building an army. Newborn vampires, wild and uncontrollable. Their target is Bella. The Cullens will fight to protect her, but the numbers are overwhelming. Bella listens, face pale but composed. How many? Alice answers quietly. At least 20, maybe more. I can't see them clearly. Newborns are chaotic, unpredictable. The future keeps shifting. Edward's arm wraps around Bella's shoulders, pulling her close. We won't let them near you, I promise. Rosalie speaks from across the room, voice sharp. This is exactly why humans shouldn't be involved with our world. She's putting all of us in danger. Edward's head snaps up, eyes flashing. Enough, Rosalie. Esme intervenes gently. We're family. We protect each other. That includes Bella now. The meeting breaks up with plans to begin training, preparing for the coming fight. Edward drives Bella home as evening falls, the sky darkening to deep purple. At her house he parks but doesn't shut off the engine. You should leave Forks. Go somewhere safe until this is over. Bella shakes her head firmly. I'm not running. Not from this. Not from you. Edward's expression shows pain and pride mixing. You're impossibly stubborn. Bella manages a small smile. You knew that when you fell in love with me. Edward leans across, kissing her forehead gently, lips cool against her skin. I'll be outside, watching. You're safe. Bella nods, climbing out reluctantly. Inside, Charlie sits at the kitchen table reviewing case files, his police uniform shirt unbuttoned at the collar. He looks up as Bella enters. Hey Bells, good day. Bella forces normalcy into her voice. Fine, just homework tonight. Charlie nods absently, returning to his paperwork. Bella heads upstairs, each step heavy. In her room, Bella tries to focus on homework, but the words blur. Her mind races, an army coming to kill her, Edward and his family preparing for war, all because she fell in love with a vampire. Guilt churns in her stomach. She stands, moving to the window. Outside in the darkness, she can barely make out Edward's silhouette in the tree line, keeping watch. Days pass in strange duality. School continues normally. Classes, lunch, gossip about graduation and prom. But underneath, Bella feels the weight of impending violence. She notices Edward's increased protectiveness, how he never lets her out of sight. The other Cullens become hyper-vigilant, Alice checking her visions constantly. One afternoon, a motorcycle roars into the school parking lot. Bella recognizes it immediately. Jacob Black from the La Push reservation. He's grown even taller now, massive with muscle, long black hair cut short. He spots Bella, face breaking into a huge grin. Bella. He jogs over, warmth radiating from him. Edward appears beside Bella instantly, posture defensive. Jacob's smile fades slightly, eyes hardening as they meet Edward's. The two regard each other with barely concealed hostility. Bella steps between them. Jake, what are you doing here? Jacob's attention returns to her, expression softening. Needed to see you. It's been too long. They talk briefly, tension thick between Jacob and Edward. Jacob is different, more confident, carrying himself with new authority. His eyes hold secrets, something wild beneath the surface. Finally, Edward speaks, voice tight. Bella, we should go. Jacob's jaw sets. Yeah. Wouldn't want to keep the bloodsucker waiting. The insult hangs in the air. Edward's eyes flash dangerously. Bella grabs his arm. Edward, don't. Jacob backs toward his motorcycle. See you around, Bells. Be careful who you trust. He roars off, leaving Bella caught between confusion and concern. In the car, Edward explains tersely. Jacob is a werewolf. The Quilu tribe carries an ancient gene that triggers when vampires are near, transforming them into massive wolves to protect their people. Jacob and several others have phased, forming a pack. The treaty between the Cullens and the tribe holds, barely, but Jacob's feelings for Bella complicate everything. Bella processes this new impossible truth. Werewolves, of course, why not? Her life has become a supernatural war zone. He's my friend, she says quietly. Edward's hands tighten on the wheel. He wants to be more than that, and his kind hate mine. This ends badly, Bella. That night, Bella lies in bed unable to sleep. Edward sits in his usual chair, watching over her. Bella speaks into the darkness. Tell me about newborns. What makes them so dangerous? Edward is silent for a long moment. When he speaks, his voice is heavy. They're not rational, just pure hunger and rage, stronger than older vampires because human blood still lingers in their tissues. Fighting them is... He trails off. Bella sits up. Is what? Edward meets her eyes. Deadly. Even for us. One-on-one we have experience, control. But 20 or more. He shakes his head. We'll need help. Bella's mind races. The wolves. Jacob's pack. Edward's expression darkens. We don't work with werewolves. The treaty. Bella interrupts. The treaty says you stay off their land. It doesn't say you can't fight a common enemy together. The next day, Carlyle arranges a meeting. The location is neutral ground, a clearing far from both Cullen territory and the reservation. The family gathers, standing in a loose line. Edward stays close to Bella, who insisted on coming despite protests. They wait. The forest rustles. Enormous wolves emerge from the trees, each the size of a small horse. 5 of them moving with predatory grace. The largest, a russet brown wolf with intelligent eyes, leads. Sam Yulee, the pack alpha in wolf form. Beside him a gray wolf, Jacob. Others follow. Embry, Quill, Paul, their massive forms intimidating even to vampires. Carlisle steps forward, hands visible and empty. Diplomatic. Thank you for coming. We face a threat. Sam shifts, bones cracking, and reforming impossibly fast, until a young native man stands where the wolf was, pulling on shorts someone left tied to his leg. The casual transformation is jarring. Sam's voice is deep, authoritative. Victoria, we know. She's been on our land, testing our borders. The meeting proceeds with careful tension. Both sides agree. Victoria and her newborn army threaten everyone. The wolves protect the reservation and Forks, their territory. The Cullens defend their home and Bella. Together, they might survive. Separately, they'll be overwhelmed. Sam agrees to an alliance, temporary and specific to this threat. Training begins immediately. In the clearing, Carlisle and Jasper, who has experience with newborn armies from his past, teach both the wolves and the Cullens refined fighting techniques. Jasper demonstrates how newborns fight, wild, aggressive, using overwhelming force. Never go for the obvious kill, he instructs. They expect that. Feint, distract, use their strength against them. The wolves and Cullens pair off reluctantly, practicing. Emmett faces Paul, both enjoying the challenge despite their mutual distrust. Rosalie moves like a dancer, against Quill's massive wolf form, elegant and deadly. Alice anticipates movements before they happen, frustrating Embry to snarling. Edward and Jacob end up circling each other, neither willing to back down. Bella watches anxiously from the sideline. The two clash repeatedly, Edward's speed against Jacob's raw power, neither gaining advantage. Finally, Carlisle calls a halt. Both retreat, breathing hard, glaring. During a break, Jacob pulls Bella aside into the trees. Up close he radiates heat like a furnace. His dark eyes search hers. Bella, come on. You can't really want this life. Becoming one of them. Cold, dead, drinking blood. His voice breaks with emotion. Stay human. Stay with me. I can protect you. I can give you a normal life. Bella's heart aches seeing his pain. Jake, I love Edward. I've made my choice. Jacob's face twists. He's not even alive, Bella. I am. I'm warm. Real. We have history. Friendship. Doesn't that mean anything? Bella touches his arm gently. It means everything. You're my best friend. But I'm in love with Edward. I'm sorry. Jacob pulls back, hurt radiating from every line of his body. If you go through with this, become a vampire. The treaty is void. We'll be enemies. I'll have to feed. He can't finish. Bella understands. He'd have to kill her. The weight of that reality sits heavy between them. Jacob turns, shoulders hunched, walking back toward the clearing. Days pass in intensive training. Bella watches, learning what's coming, the violence that will erupt. Edward teaches her weak points on vampire anatomy, though she'll be useless in the actual fight. You stay far away, he insists repeatedly. Hidden safe, where Victoria can't possibly find you. Bella argues but knows he's right. She'd only be a liability, a distraction. Alice continues monitoring her visions, but the future remains chaotic, uncertain. Too many variables, too many newborns making spontaneous decisions. She sees flashes, fighting, fire, snow, but nothing concrete about the outcome. The not knowing gnaws at everyone. One afternoon, Bella finds Rosalie alone on the Cullen house's terrace, staring out at the forest. Bella approaches hesitantly. Rosalie has never hidden her dislike, her resentment at Bella's presence endangering the family. Can we talk? Bella asks quietly. Rosalie glances at her, expression unreadable. After a long moment she nods. They sit on the terrace railing, awkward silence stretching. Finally Rosalie speaks. You want to know why I hate this? Why I don't want you to become one of us? Bella nods. Rosalie's beautiful face shows rare vulnerability. I was human once, engaged to a man named Royce. Wealthy, handsome, everything society said I should want. Rosalie's voice grows distant, remembering. He and his friends attacked me one night, left me dying in the street. Carlisle found me, changed me. Her hands clench. I never got to choose, never got to have children, grow old, experience a normal life. You have that choice, Bella. You can still walk away, have everything I lost, and you're throwing it away. Bella absorbs this, understanding Rosalie's anger differently now. I'm sorry that happened to you. It was horrible, unfair, but Edward is my choice. This life with him is what I want. Rosalie studies her for a long moment, then nods slowly. Then I'll fight for you. Not because I approve, but because you're family now. And we protect family. The fragile respect between them feels like victory. Graduation day arrives, bright and almost sunny, rare for Forks. Students in yellow gowns fill the high school gym, families cramming into bleachers. Bella sits between Edward and Jacob, who showed up unexpectedly. The tension between them is palpable, but both stay civil for her sake. Names are called, diplomas distributed. Normal teenage celebration, while Bella and her supernatural companions await war. That evening, the Cullens throw a graduation party. The house fills with students, music thumping, laughter echoing. Charlie and other parents cluster in the kitchen, Carlisle and Esme playing perfect hosts. Bella mingles awkwardly, hyper-aware of Edward's presence constantly near. Jacob looming on the periphery, both her protectors and her greatest source of conflict. Alice finds Bella upstairs, away from the crowd. I saw something. The newborns are coming. 3 days, maybe 4. We're running out of time. Her pixie face is tight with worry. Bella nods, stomach dropping. 3 days until her life ends or transforms completely. The party winds down. Guests leave, calling goodbyes. Jacob approaches Bella outside, moonlight filtering through clouds. If something happens, if I don't make it through this. He stops, jaw working. Then suddenly he kisses her, desperate and fierce. Bella freezes, shocked. Jacob pulls back. I had to. Just once. I love you, Bella. He turns and runs, shifting mid-stride into his massive wolf form, disappearing into the forest. Edward appears beside her, having witnessed everything. His face is carefully blank, but pain flickers in his golden eyes. Did you want him to? Bella shakes her head vehemently. No. Edward, you're the one I know, but he loves you too. And part of you loves him. I'm not blind. The honesty hurts more than jealousy would. The final preparations begin. Carlisle contacts an old friend, Tanya, from the Denali Coven in Alaska, requesting assistance. She agrees to send information, but can't bring her family. They refuse to risk themselves in a fight over a human. The Cullens are alone, except for the wolf pack. Edward takes Bella camping in the mountains, the coldest, highest point far from the battlefield. The plan is simple. Jacob will carry Bella to the campsite, masking her scent with his wolf smell. Edward will wait with her, protecting her personally while the others fight. Victoria's army will follow Bella's scent to the clearing, where both families will be waiting. The campsite is barren rock and snow, temperature dropping rapidly as evening falls. Jacob in human form builds a fire, tension radiating from his massive frame. Edward and Jacob barely speak, communicating only what's necessary. Bella sits wrapped in a sleeping bag, shivering despite layers of clothing. Night deepens, temperature plummeting further. Bella's teeth chatter uncontrollably. Edward holds her, but his cold body provides no warmth. Jacob watches, conflicted. Finally he speaks grudgingly. She'll freeze. I can keep her warm. Edward's jaw clenches, but he nods. Survival trumps pride. Jacob shifts, massive wolf form filling the tent. He lies down, and Bella crawls against his side, heat radiating from his fur like a living furnace. Edward sits apart, watching, face carefully neutral. The intimacy of the moment. Bella pressed against Jacob. Edward forced to watch his rival provide what he cannot, is torture for all three. Bella falls into uneasy sleep. Jacob and Edward talk quietly, their mutual love for the same girl forcing a grudging understanding. They'll never be friends, but maybe for her sake they can coexist. Dawn comes slowly, gray light filtering through tent fabric. In the clearing below, the Cullens and Wolfpack take positions. Alice monitors her visions constantly. They're coming. Soon. Maybe an hour. Everyone tenses, preparing. Carlisle and Sam exchange nods, two leaders committing their families to violence. At the campsite, Edward suddenly goes rigid. Someone's here. A figure appears through the trees. Riley, the young man from Seattle, now a newborn vampire. His eyes are crimson, wild. Behind him, Victoria emerges, red hair brilliant against the snow. She smiles coldly. Hello, Edward. Edward positions himself between them and Bella, crouching defensively. Victoria circles, calculating. Just give me the girl. This doesn't have to involve you. Edward's voice is deadly calm. You'll have to go through me. Victoria's smile widens. I was hoping you'd say that. She attacks. Riley with her, both moving with newborn speed. Edward fights desperately, trying to protect Bella while facing two opponents. He's faster, more experienced, but they're stronger, relentless. The fight is brutal, bodies colliding with bone-cracking force. The snow around them churned to mud. Bella scrambles backward, terrified. Jacob phases, massive wolf launching at Victoria, jaws snapping. The fight becomes chaos. Edward and Jacob working together instinctively despite their hatred, protecting the girl they both love against enemies who want her dead. In the clearing, the newborn army arrives. 20 wild-eyed vampires, all young, all deadly, charge from the forest. The Cullens and Wolfpack meet them head-on. The battle is savage, supernatural beings clashing with terrifying force. Carlisle moves with surgical precision. Emmett uses raw strength. Alice dances through enemies with precognitive grace. The wolves are massive juggernauts, jaws crushing vampire stone. Jasper fights 3 at once, his experience with newborns giving him the edge. Rosalie teams with Esme, covering each other elegantly. The wolves fight with coordinated pack tactics, Sam's orders flowing telepathically between them. Bodies fall, vampire corpses torn apart, but the newborns keep coming, overwhelming through sheer numbers. At the campsite, Edward manages to decapitate Riley, the young vampire crumbling to pieces. Victoria screams in rage, attacking with renewed fury. Edward is tiring, even his supernatural stamina fading. Victoria slips past his defense, lunging for Bella. Jacob intercepts, wolf jaws closing on Victoria's arm, ripping it free. Victoria howls, spinning away. Edward takes the opening, moving faster than thought. His hands close on Victoria's head, twisting. The stone-like skin cracks, separates. Victoria's body falls in pieces, red hair bright against the snow. Silence descends. In the clearing, The last newborn falls. The Cullens and wolves stand among the carnage, battered but alive. Emmett has several deep gashes, already healing. Paul limps, one leg injured. But they survived, all of them, through cooperation that shouldn't have been possible. Fire is built. Vampire remains dragged into the flames. Purple smoke rises, acrid and sweet. Sam shifts to human form, nodding once to Carlisle. Debt paid. Treaty still holds. Carlisle returns the nod. Thank you. We couldn't have done this without you. At the campsite, Edward holds Bella, checking her frantically for injuries. She's unharmed, just shaken. Jacob shifts back, breathing hard, a massive gash across his ribs slowly healing. Bella goes to him, tears streaming. Jake, thank you. You saved my life. Jacob manages a pained smile. What are friends for? Edward watches, then extends his hand to Jacob. Thank you for protecting her when I couldn't. Jacob stares at the offered hand, then grasps it firmly. Don't make me regret it, bloodsucker. Edward's lips twitch almost into a smile. I'll do my best, dog. Days later, things return to something resembling normal. The Cullens clean the battlefield thoroughly, leaving no evidence. Police in Seattle investigate mysterious disappearances but find nothing. Charlie knows something happened. Bella's haunted expression. Edward's increased presence, but doesn't press for details. He probably doesn't want. Bella sits in the meadow where she and Edward first revealed themselves to each other. Sunlight breaking through clouds. Edward lies beside her, skin sparkling with diamond brilliance. They talk about the future, college plans, what comes after graduation. Edward has been accepted to the University of Alaska. Bella to Dartmouth. They'll make it work somehow. I still want it, Bella says quietly. To become like you, to be with you forever. Edward's face shows conflict. Bella, after everything you've seen, the violence, the danger, she cuts him off. I've seen what you're willing to do to protect people you love. What your family stands for. That's what I want to be part of. Not the violence, the love. Edward studies her face for a long moment, then nods slowly. After graduation, we'll talk to Carlisle. Do it properly, safely. Bella's heart leaps. Really? Edward smiles, sad and loving. I can't lose you. If this is the only way to keep you. He kisses her, gentle and eternal. At the reservation, Jacob sits on the beach at La Push, staring at the ocean. Sam joins him, sitting on the driftwood. You okay? Jacob shrugs, pain evident. She chose him. I knew she would. Doesn't make it hurt less. Sam nods understanding. Sometimes the right thing and the easy thing aren't the same. Jacob picks up a stone, throwing it into the waves. She's going to become one of them. Turn into a bloodsucker. The treaty. Sam's voice is firm. The treaty protects her, until she makes that choice. After she's no longer our concern, unless she threatens the tribe. But Jacob, if you can't handle watching her change, no one would blame you for leaving. Jacob shakes his head. I made a promise, to protect her, even from herself if necessary. His jaw sets with determination. I'll figure it out, somehow. At the Cullen house, the family gathers in the living room. Carlisle speaks carefully. The Volturi will have heard about the newborn army. An incident this large, this public, draws attention. They'll send someone to investigate. Edward's face darkens. The Volturi vampire royalty, enforcers of their kind's most sacred laws. If they believe the Cullens broke those laws, punishment is swift and merciless. Alice's eyes go distant, seeing the future. When she returns, her expression is troubled. They're sending Jane and Alec. They arrive in 3 days. The room tenses. Jane and Alec, the Volturi's most powerful weapons, twins with abilities that make them nearly unstoppable. Emmett curses. Rosalie's face pales further. Even Carlisle looks worried. We've done nothing wrong, Carlisle says firmly. We defended our home against a threat. The Volturi can't fault us for that. But uncertainty lingers in everyone's eyes. The Volturi are not known for mercy or understanding. 3 days later, 2 figures arrive at the Cullen house. Jane and Alec appear young, perhaps 12 in human years, but their eyes hold centuries. Both wear gray robes, moving with unsettling grace. The Cullen family assembles, faces carefully neutral. Bella stands with them, Edward's hand gripping hers protectively. Jane's childlike face surveys the room, settling on Bella with interest. The human is still human. Her voice is soft, innocent sounding, utterly chilling. Carlisle steps forward. She will be changed, soon. We simply wanted to allow her to graduate, say proper goodbyes to her family. Jane tilts her head considering. Ara will be disappointed. He wanted to meet her while still human. She looks at Edward, and you who can hear thoughts, refusing our offer to join the guard. Such waste. Edward's expression doesn't change. My place is here, with my family. Alex speaks for the first time, voice equally soft. You dealt with the newborn threat efficiently. Victoria and her army are destroyed. Carlisle nods. Completely. No survivors. No evidence remaining. Jane smiles, the expression somehow worse than her neutral face. Good. You may continue as you were. For now. The twins leave as suddenly as they arrived, disappearing into the forest. The Cullens exhale collectively, tension draining. Carlisle's face shows relief. We have time. Not much, but enough. His eyes find Bella's, but they will return to verify. You understand what that means. Bella nods, stomach tight. She must be changed soon, or the Volturi will do it themselves, or kill her for knowing too much about vampires, while remaining human. The choice is no longer just romantic desire, it's survival. Evening falls over Forks, rain beginning its familiar pattern.
Bella sits in her room, looking at college acceptance letters on her desk. Normal future plans, now irrelevant. She's choosing something far stranger, far more permanent. Fear and excitement war within her. Edward appears at her window, slipping inside silently. He sits beside her on the bed, taking her hand. Scared, Bella considers. Terrified, but also ready. I've lived my whole life halfway, Edward. Always the outsider, never quite fitting. With you I fit, I belong. I'm willing to pay the price for that. Edward's thumb traces circles on her palm. After college, 1 year, experience human things, dorm life, late night study sessions, bad cafeteria food. Give yourself that before you give it up forever. Bella starts to protest, but Edward's expression is pleading. For me, let me give you 1 normal year. Then, I promise we'll do this. I'll change you myself if that's what you want. Bella sees the love, the guilt, the desperate desire to give her every possible moment of humanity. She nods slowly. 1 year, then you keep your promise. Edward exhales relief, pulling her close. 1 year, then forever. They sit together as darkness deepens outside, holding each other while rain drums against the roof. Somewhere in the forest, Victoria's remains have long since burned to ash, scattered by wind. The newborn army is destroyed. Their brief violent existence ended. Peace returns to Forks, fragile and temporary. But threats remain, lurking. The Volturi watch from Italy, patient and eternal, waiting to see if the Cullens honor their word. Jacob and his pack patrol the reservation, protecting their land from supernatural dangers. And Bella counts down days to graduation, to college, to the transformation that will end her humanity, and begin something new. She looks at Edward, his beautiful face soft in the dim light, golden eyes warm with love that spans more than a century. Whatever comes next, danger, transformation, eternity, she'll face it beside him. The choice is made, consequences accepted. 1 year of humanity remains, then forever as something else, someone new, stronger and stranger, and capable of loving without the limitations of human life. Bella Swan, ordinary girl who stumbled into an extraordinary world, prepares to leave behind everything familiar and embrace the impossible. And in the gathering darkness, between the worlds of human and vampire and wolf, she finds peace with her choice. Love demands sacrifice. Forever demands courage. She has both in abundance. The story pauses here, breath held between heartbeats, waiting for the next chapter to begin. She stood between 2 hearts, 2 worlds, 2 impossible choices, and discovered that sometimes love means sacrificing everything you are for everything you could become. The hardest battles aren't fought with fangs and claws, but with the human heart deciding what's worth dying for, and what's worth living forever.